escorted his remains back to Norfolk Virginia to be at his interment at Arlington in 2019. But she didn't step down then, and she never gave up hope, and she kept seeking the answers that so many of our families do. But if you step way back to the heart of the Vietnam War, back in the late 1960s, there were a group of wives of prisoners of war that, they were a little discouraged by the lack of effort on the part of the U.S. government in getting their husbands released. And so they formed a group seeking to increase public awareness and to pressure the U.S. government to take an active role in trying to get the release of their husbands from the Vietnamese forces. And over the next few years, from the late 60s to 1970, that group grew from a handful of wives to hundreds of family members. And so they had a meeting in 1970 outside Washington, D.C. at the Dar Convention Hall, and formed the National League of American Prisoners and Missing in Southeast Asia, or we call it the National League of POW and My Family. For here on out, they have the League. But in that same year, 1970, one of the members of the League, an MIA wife, Mrs. Michael Hoff, recognized the need for a symbol of our POWs and MIAs. So on behalf of the League, she worked with the Annan Flag Makers Company, which they had one of their designers. Together they worked and they created this iconic flag. And the League Board of Directors officially adopted it in January 1972 as the National League of POW Families symbol. Now, they didn't just want that to be the League symbol. So to ensure the widest possible dissemination and use of this symbol to advocate for improved treatment of American POWs and answers on our MIAs, they didn't seek a trademark, they didn't copyright it. They wanted that flag to be throughout the country as a symbol of not forgetting our missing and unaccounted for Americans. The importance of the POW-MIA flag lies in its visibility as a constant reminder of America's unreturned veterans. And I like seeing them as unreturned veterans, which is great. While I used to be in the Department of Defense, and the Department of Defense seeks them, I can tell you that even the Director of Veterans Affairs, he looks at them as his unreturned veterans as well. And so it's great to see the support of the government today for bringing home all of our missing Americans. Now, other than Old Glory, this flag is the only flag to ever fly over the White House. I don't know if any of you knew that. The first time was in 1982, when President Ronald Reagan had it flown over the White House on National POW-MIA Recognition Day. The League's POW-MIA flag is also the only flag ever displayed in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda, where it stands today. It's a powerful symbol of America's determination to account for U.S. personnel still missing and unaccounted for in the Vietnam War. On August 10, 1990, the 101st Congress passed a law that was signed by President George H.W. Bush, recognizing this flag and designating it as the symbol of our nation's concern and commitment to resolving as fully as possible the fates of Americans still prisoner, missing, and unaccounted for in Southeast Asia, thus ending the uncertainty for their families and the nation. Today, federal law dictates that this flag fly in a place visible to the public every day of the year, on the U.S. Capitol, the White House, the World War II Memorial. As Chief Huffman said, this isn't just the Vietnam War POW flag, it's all past conflicts. World War II Memorial, Korean Veterans Memorial, the National Vietnam Veterans Memorial, every national cemetery, most major federal buildings. Most states and many local governments have adopted similar laws, and today the Norfolk International Airport joins the list of those who fly this flag to show America's commitment to seek the fullest possible accounting for American prisoners and missing, and the repatriation of the remains of those who died while serving our nation during the Vietnam War and too many other past conflicts. And why do we do this? We do this to end the uncertainty of their families. I like to say of their shipmates, those that we serve with, friends. We do this because we're Americans. So you think this simple black and white flag has truly become an iconic symbol of what it means to be an American. 4 simple words on the flag. You are not forgotten. To the thousands of families who still wait for answers, we all as Americans owe it to them and to the loved ones who paid the ultimate sacrifice to never forget. The fact that America vigorously pursues the noble mission of accounting for our fallen is the right thing to do. It defines us as a nation. It's a tangible example of no one left behind. And you hear that phrase all the time. It's easy to say it. You have to live it. You have to do it. And that takes effort. And you all clearly are showing that effort by being here today and by all the things you do on a regular basis. Our nation is fulfilling a promise made to those we sent off to combat and who never returned, as well as to their families. Now, this national commitment also serves as a marker to veterans whose comrades are missing and to those in uniform today that this nation will not leave its warriors behind. You know, this flag is also going to be recognized around the globe, and you'll even see it flown in some other countries. Countries everywhere know that this flag is a symbol of America's resolve to seek answers and to never forget. So it is truly special that you all will be raising this flag here today and every day forward. With those hundreds of thousands of service members and families and all the other civilians that come and go, they're going to see it, and I can tell you, Mr. Sterling, your comments, you're dead on. Bad way of saying it. You're spot on. There's so many people that may very well be the last piece of America they see. And seeing that flag, again, is a symbol that we're not going to forget them. God forbid they should not come back. We're going to bring them home. Now, how many of you know that with the so-called end of the current conflict, this is the first one in my lifetime, first one in all of our lifetimes, that there were no missing in action unaccounted for. Okay. That tells you something about how we have become, and we don't want to leave them behind. And that's easy to say, but no, there were a lot of people that took a lot of risk to bring home their fallen in the last 20 years. And we owe them a great debt of gratitude. But there's no guarantee it'll be that way in the future. We need to keep remembering, we need to keep honoring, we need to keep seeking answers. Not just today, but in the future. And we certainly can't forget the nearly 82,000 going back to World War II that are still unaccounted for. That their families are still awaiting answers. So as you leave here today, I'd ask you that you rededicate yourselves to sharing your knowledge and your commitment with others and your families and your communities. Let them know, because it's up to all of us to educate those youngsters that are still coming up that don't necessarily understand what this means. So please share that message with them. Help our nation, help the families of the missing keep their hopes alive. I sincerely appreciate and thank you all for doing your part. And thank you all for your support, for being here today. May God bless you. May God bless our heroes and their families. And may God continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Approximately 82,000 service members are still missing. In Virginia alone, we have 1,106 missing from World War II. We have 187 missing from the Korean War. We have 45 missing from the Vietnam War. And we have one from Norfolk, Virginia, missing with one of their Patriot Guard flags for us to fly down in our squadron.
On behalf of the Virginia POW, I'd like to present you this flag. Thank you for spearheading this effort to honor this flag in front of this facility. This flag has the signatures and well wishes from citizens of the area, our first responders, and our military. Also have the public as a resolution. Thank you very much.
I see Sergeant Scale in the back of the room. Come up front for a minute, Sergeant. Present this flag we put down in our squadron, so all our officers can see it together. Sir. So in addition to the main flagpole, where we're going to fly the POW flag, it's also going to fly over our fire department. So the folks that come in on the airfield, they're going to see it when their plane lands, and they look over to the right. I think it's to the right. So yes, to the right. I'm not the operations guy either. So to the right, and they'll see the flag, and they'll see that POW flag on the flagpole. So I'd like to call up Deputy Chief Bruce Evans for a presentation of the flag for their facility. Today is going to be for the Norfolk Airport Authority Police Department Honor Guard to come forward and retrieve the POW flag that's going to go out onto our flagpoles. Once they take it and exit the room, we're going to dismiss it here, and we can reform out there by the flagpoles, and we're going to have the flag raising ceremony at this point. All right. All right, thank you everybody. Again, we're going to adjourn and go out to the main flagpole.